Welcome to the Maria Sanchez Show right here on www.kadytv.com. We're live Monday through Friday. Today marks the beginning of our 4th week of being live. And we are, something in development. We're growing, we're expanding. We got new equipment on Friday, so you might notice that the picture's a little bit different. I'm starting to say that we're a real reality show, not those ones that they say is a reality show and then they take all these hours of footage and they cut it out to make the drama the way they want it to look. No, what you see is what you get. This is unfolding. We're flying by the seat of our pants. Are we prepared? You betcha. Are we? Have we done our research? Of course we have. And then because it's live, there's just like you never know. There's no second take. There's no safety net. So come along and join us for the ride. We want to make you mark your calendars, please, if you would. This Thursday, which is November 18th, we are going to be simulcasting live from the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. President George W. Bush is going to be here in the county. Obviously, President 43. Decision Points is his book that he's touting. He started his media campaign last week, and he is not missing Ventura County in that regard. So our understanding is that he's being helicoptered in 5 minutes before the talk, helicoptered out 5 minutes after the talk, but kadytv.com, the Maria Sanchez Show, will be there live. So it's sold out, but all you have to do is log onto your computer to our website, click the player, and you'll be able to see what the president has to say about his book, Decision Points. We'll be doing our pre-show from there, so we won't be live at 4 o'clock. We're probably going to be live around 5:30 or so. So we've got other great news coming up this whole week, but I don't want to take any more time for our in-studio guest. We have every Monday, Bob Worthley with Crime Stoppers visits with us. He speaks about the Ventura County's most wanted. And Bob, you were just mentioning before we went live something about since the program has been in inception, how many have been apprehended?
Well, since '86 now, we're up to a total of 1,127 felony arrests, and that's just through the normal TIP program. And we have additionally well over 1,000 through the school program, our scholastic program, which is operating in some middle and high schools in the county.
And you have had some nice success in the past, the recent past, since we've been working with you together. Do you have any recent figures on that? I know it was kind of astronomical at first.
I don't have all the numbers. What time was that last email I sent last night?
Yeah, it was late.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, one of the people that we were going to feature today, this Michael Fabricant, he was a parolee, and he was on our parolees at large. He was arrested, and that's why we had to substitute today.
Okay.
So that's happiness.
Yay, that is happiness. So we visit with Bob every Monday. He shares with us who the most wanted are for that week. Tomorrow in the Ventura County Star, you can see it again. Of course, you can log on to the Crime Stoppers website as well as our website to go through it. But Bob, why don't you start off for today?
Okay. These are the winners of this week's popularity contest. We have Bernardo Cuevas Tobias. He's Hispanic, 53. He's 5'2", 120, black hair, brown eyes, and he's wanted for violation of probation warrant for residential burglary. He's had 7 law enforcement contacts in Ventura County alone that you can see in public records, and 6 offenses for lewd conduct. So a little bit on his background. Next we have Carlos Hernandez Villar. He's Hispanic. He's 42, 5'10", 180, black hair, brown eyes, violation of probation warrant for possession of drugs with prior felonies. And he's another one in the county with more than 9 law enforcement contacts just in this county alone.
So they're busy boys.
Pretty busy. Next one is Carlos Ipadzi. He's Hispanic, 18, 5'10", 150, black hair, brown eyes, failure to appear warrant for transportation of drugs and being under the influence of drugs. Next.
So that was the first 3. Okay.
That's first 3.
We'll go through what makes them get onto the list of the most wanted.
Okay.
Not now, but you can go through because we got Mr. Jorge up there.
Jorge Antonio Wyckoff. He's Hispanic, 23, 5'6", 155, black hair, brown eyes. He's wanted violation of probation warrant for possession of drugs. And next we have Robert Alex de la Cerda. He's Hispanic, 32, 5'9", 180, black hair, brown eyes. He has a mole on his left cheek, 2 moles on the left chin. He's wanted for failure to appear warrant for possession of drugs with a prior felony conviction. 13 law enforcement contacts in Ventura County. Each one of those contacts could be one or more crimes for which he's been accused. And last of all, the gentleman who replaced Mr. Fabricant is Tommy Lee Harrison. He's white, 26 years old, 6 foot, 170, brown hair, hazel eyes, 2 violation of probation warrants for unlawful sexual intercourse, corporal injury to a spouse, and dissuading a witness from reporting a crime. Only 26, 10 times he's been apprehended by police in the county for more than 10 crimes.
Do you know what corporal abuse to a spouse means?
I don't know the legal definition. It comes
Sounds
in
like
with beating up.
fisticuffs, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's been a busy guy too. So when folks who are watching us today and or read the newspaper tomorrow or log onto your website and they think they know of the person that you're speaking of, the best way to contact it, if it isn't in the commission of a crime.
Right. Well, if it's in the commission of a crime, dial 911. Tell them it's a Crime Stoppers tip. The call taker will note that, and then go to the Crime Stoppers line. Tell them that you've already called law enforcement and give them the information the same that you gave dispatch when you called 911. And you want to call 1-800-222-TIPS, T-I-P-S, that's 8477. And they'll take your call. Within a minute of that call being taken, it's going to be electronically transmitted to some people here who will have it within a few seconds to any law enforcement agency in the county. Second way to go is go to our website, VenturaCountyCrimeStoppers.org, and you go on there. You can go to web tips. You can bring up a file in Spanish or English. Take your time. Tell us what you want to tell us. You push the transmit button, and again, we will instantly have that tip, and we can forward it to law enforcement. You're going to have a password given to you there, and we're going to be able to have two-way communications if it's needed. We'll get back to you on that site, let you know if you got a reward. And the last way is by text message, and you text to crimes, C-R-I-M-E-S, and you just text the word busted and whatever information you want to give us. You press that message, we get it instantly. Some of us are monitoring on BlackBerries. Again, we can have two-way communications. Your anonymity is totally protected.
And that's the biggest point that we are making about this program, is that it is anonymous, so that you are guaranteed that you will stay confidential unless you choose to reveal yourself. Let's take a quick break, and then you have a school program that you want to help promote a little bit about Crime Stoppers?
It's Crime Stoppers, part of Crime Stoppers. I think they'd be interested in that.
Okay. So you're watching the Maria Sanchez show. We're going to take a quick break. If you know anybody of the dastardly gents that we just showed you, obviously the sooner that you call, the better in terms of apprehending them, and we appreciate your time. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. We're going to talk about Crime Stoppers and how it involves the students in our community. You're watching KADYTV.com.
The Maria Sanchez Show is about the county, by the county, and for the county. Whether we are simulcasting live from the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, checking in with the leaders of our communities, hearing from our elected officials, helping to promote public safety, preparedness, and wellness. We are here for the needs of Ventura County. The Maria Sanchez Show is also about entertainment and events, sharing information, creating awareness, and supporting those in need. Won't you join us as we rewrite the rules of local television on the Maria Sanchez Show at www.kadytv.com.
Welcome back to the Maria Sanchez Show. Thank you for watching us. It is Monday, November 15th. We appreciate your eyes and your ears. We have Bob Worthley in studio with us. Bob meets with us every Monday, and he speaks about the most wanted in the county. Today he just shared 6 names that were released today. They'll be published tomorrow in the Star, and so it goes every week with us. Now, Bob, you mentioned that there's a program that's available, Crime Stoppers in the school system.
That's correct. We have a program, we call it Scholastic, here in the county. And it's a program that operates primarily in schools that have your school resource officers in the schools. And it's by choice if they want to be a member of this program. And what it does, it provides students the means by which they can anonymously give information regarding weapons. It could be theft, drugs, graffiti that's been committed, and so forth, where they can give the information, remain anonymous, and if the information they give leads to an arrest or administrative action, they're rewarded. They're given a $50 reward for helping us. And there have been a little concern by some people in some areas that such a thing was, ratting on their schools,
right,
on their kids. But by the same token, the vast majority of the kids, they're there to learn. They don't want drugs and weapons in the schools, and we've had a lot of good success. As a matter of fact, the total, I've got to over 1,000, but it's very difficult to audit past because I'm going through years of minutes from our meetings. But I stopped at over 1,000 that we've paid off on over the years in the school program.
So this program's been going on quite a while then?
It's been going on quite a while.
Now, is there an age range that you started at? Is it middle school or high school or?
Well, currently, we're in some middle schools and in some high schools. And if we're successful enough in increasing our fundraising, then we hope to expand it in other schools. There has been an interest expressed.
And you're saying the caveat is that they have to have a resource person on campus, which is a cop-like person?
We prefer to have a school resource officer who is a sworn law enforcement officer, but in a school you can just use administrators also. We can utilize the program that way, and it's up to the administrators if they want to take the responsibility. That's fine too, and they just again the students have to be comfortable with them. But these school resource officers are phenomenal, and they're able to develop good rapport with the kids. The kids know that they're in there to try to protect them, and you'd be surprised with some of the things that we get. A good example is when Villanova got tagged. There was a very, very many thousands of dollars worth of damage, and they put, I think, fertilizer in the swimming pool, and they desecrated statues and so forth. It was through the Crime Stoppers program that we got the information that led to a number of arrests in that vandalism.
Really?
We've had reports on weapons in campus, drugs. Weapons and drugs are the primary things that we get. They're not so much guns, but knives and so forth. But we get an awful lot on drugs.
So do the students report the same way as the rest of us do, or are there different methods?
They're a little bit different. They're allowed to go one-on-one with the resource officer. They're juveniles. They are able to keep that confidential. They're not brought into it in any way. Their identity is not compromised. It's an agreement that we have, and it works well.
But if somebody sees a classmate going into the school resource office, isn't that kind of suspicious?
Oh, believe me, the officer's not sitting in an office. He's all over the school all the time.
So it's just, you hope, though, that somebody wouldn't notice that.
It's got to be opportunity.
Right.
But so far, just as with the other tips that we've had, there's never been known to be a compromise in anybody's identity in the regular program, and there's never been an identity compromised in the school program either.
I'm wondering if something like bullying would be allowed to be reported, because while that's not a crime in the traditional sense, it still is illegal. So do you know if that would be an avenue for somebody to report that kind of behavior?
Bullying would be an avenue, and it may or may not lead to an arrest depending on the circumstances, but it could certainly lead to an administrative action. And what we do is we pay, it can be an arrest or an administrative action. And in most cases, they do everything they can to not have to do an arrest. Mm-hmm. If it's prescription drugs, or weapons or so forth, sometimes they have no choice. But there's other cases that they can do an administrative action or administrative cite and keep it out of their permanent or their juvenile records.
Now, how do the schools get the word out to the students that this program is available and that they are protected?
Through the resource officer.
But they have to make a demonstration.
Well, we do have posters.
Presentation or.
We have posters, and the posters are on the posted in the school grounds.
Something that the school put, but still, they must have a presentation at the beginning of the year that says that this.
They'll
is
do presentations, and I'm going to be going into some of the schools now also to discuss the program, particularly the new schools that we brought into. Some of these schools, they've been in there for quite a while, so there needs to be no other introduction. It's well known. But in new schools, we will make a presentation.
If somebody's watching and it's not available in their child's school, what do they do in order to get it or to start the process?
If it's something they're interested in, they can call me on my personal cell phone. It's 805-512-6996.
Otherwise, what do they do? If they would go to the principal and say, this is something that I'd like us to offer for our kids?
They could go to the principal, would be a good idea. If it's a school that has a school resource officer in it, where the program is not being used right now, they could also call their local police department or sheriff's department as may be applicable.
And not to put you on the spot, but if somebody's watching and they don't know whether there is the program at their child's school, do you know which schools do have and which don't have?
They can call me.
But can you share that?
I'd rather not share that in public. I'd rather not share what schools are participating right now. It's just something that we would prefer not to mention all of the schools that are participating in it right now.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Even though the schools know, obviously.
The schools know, but it's just something that I'd rather not get into right now.
Okay, so
reasons.
that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Fair answer. So again, what is the name of the program?
We call it Scholastic. It's the Scholastic program.
And again, it's mostly high schools, but some middle schools.
Some middle schools, and it's a school Crime Stoppers. It's a very, like I said, it's kind of a low-key program. It's a simple operation, and currently it is only operating in schools with school resource officers, but it could operate in schools that don't have them.
Okay, so and obviously this is where parents get involved. Just like the PTAs, if you want to make a difference and you want to have something happen and it isn't there and you have the inclination and you'd like to help, this is where it can matter.
That's right. Now, we've had an interest in some other schools that want to participate, but our limitation is funding because we are a nonprofit, and everybody that serves on our board they serve without pay. So the expenses that we have, primary expenses, are rewards, and of course then we have website, electronic monitoring, and so forth that we have to keep up on, insurance, but funding is the single limitation to us expanding the program currently.
And obviously technology is not an issue, and that's the thing, is that they have to do a face-to-face encounter with the resource officer.
They do that, but they can also go through the normal program. If they're not comfortable doing that, all the student has to do is go to the normal one, the 800-222-TIPS line. They can go through the website, or they can text message.
Okay.
And we've had some tips through the text messages. So they have that as an alternative. So we don't rule them all out. But they just say, hey, I'm a student, such and such a school, and then we can also arrange an anonymous payment for them too. And we have paid a number of tips from students through the normal system. But the Scholastic program is pretty simple. It's really good. It works well. You're dealing directly with the officer that knows the kids and can do things about it to help keep the school safe.
So, and this is just news today because Facebook is introducing a new application about how people can communicate on Facebook. And what they mentioned is, and this is, we're speaking about United States teens, so you might want to take this into account when you're thinking about your program. Text messaging has surpassed face-to-face contact, email, phone calls, and instant messaging, and as the primary form of communication for United States teens. So that's where it's at, is with the thumbs.
My granddaughter wore out one BlackBerry already. She's on her second. I
You're
thoroughly
well
understand.
aware. Yes. You're watching the Maria Sanchez Show. Bob Worthley is our in-studio guest, as he is every Monday. This is Monday, November 15th, with Crime Stoppers. Thank you so much for your time. We'll be right back with Maria's musings. We appreciate your eyes.